everyone, and welcome to Win Within. My name is Lenora Edwards. I am one of your hosts.
And this is George Jones, your other host.
We are coming to you live every Wednesday, sharing with you ways that we win within by offering you insights, guidance, inspiration, and support in the best ways that we know how through our own life experience and our own expertise. George Jones is a former NFL running back with an outstanding career from 97 to 2002, and he's also a #1 best-selling author. And I would also like to add that he is also going to be a TED Talk speaker as of next weekend. So we're excited, super excited for that. He's also a devoted husband and a father of 3 kids and continues to advocate for his foundation, The Present Dad. And my name is Lenora Edwards, and I am a mind and life enhancement specialist with DTB Horizons. As a board-certified speech pathologist and holographic memory resolution practitioner, I help people easily release the things that are holding them back and keeping them stuck so that they can effortlessly move forward and enjoy life on their terms. Today, what we are going to be talking about is a winning mindset, a winning mental attitude. So if you'd like to chime in at any point, please feel free to leave your comments in the chat, and we will talk with you directly and answer any and all of your questions. How are you doing today, George?
I am doing well, Lenore. We're going to jump right into it. I like this. I like this right here. Winning mental attitude. Now, for me, it starts as soon as I wake up. As soon as I get out of the bed, I got to get my mind right on how I'm going to approach the day. And so that starts with once I get up, I go and do all the necessary stuff I got to do. And I do the exact same thing when I wake GJ and Cooper and them up. I say to them, let's get our mind right. You guys go do what you got to do to get ready for school. But we got to get that mental winning attitude, because if you're off any point, that could derail your whole day. So for me, this starts as soon as I get up in the morning. What about you?
Completely. And once I started to understand that I have voices in my head and that I have thoughts in my head, once I started to really understand that what I say to myself matters, it completely changed the game, especially when you have those critical voices or thoughts that are just all over the place. They have power. And if they're not set up right, it makes a world of a difference. So I really monitor my self-talk. And I think that what is something that really contributes to having a really tough mental attitude and building yourself up, because truly you're in your head all day and when you're awake at night. And it's so important to speak kindly to yourself, but also to support yourself and set your mind up for it. This is going to be a great day. Things are working out for me. I'm moving forward in the right direction, rather than focusing on this is a problem or this is wrong. Really giving your mind a clear picture of we're solution oriented. We're looking for success. We're looking for things that we want to achieve and accomplish and to bring us joy and happiness. It's a huge difference. Do you notice how different you thought back then and how it's improved your quality of life now?
Oh, yes, no doubt. Now, I could say when I was going through my mental health struggles, I could not get on every day where I can have that winning mentality, that winning attitude, because there was always something derailing me along the way. So I may get upset at this, I may get upset at that. I didn't get the proper sleep the night before because of just anxiety and staying up. So for me, once I got over and got my mental health in control and started taking the right medications and things like that, life turned around 100% for me. Like for me, my quality of life improved dramatically because I now don't really have stress like that. I used to have stress from dealing with other people. If somebody, said the wrong thing to me, looked at me a different way. But now, if I get up in the morning and I set my day the way it needs to be, I eliminate a lot of stress out of life.
Completely. I love that you said that about, when it comes to sleep or when you're going through a period of time in your life. And I didn't understand and I didn't know what I didn't know back then compared to what I know now. And it's so much more than just saying it's going to be great. Things are going to work out. It's going to work out. And really understanding that there are things that come up. We can experience depression. We can experience anxiety. We can experience so much. And because we weren't really taught what to do with it, and just to hear something like, "Oh, think positive," is really hurtful because you're like, I don't know how to manage it. I don't know what else I'm doing." So I love that you pointed that out, especially when you start to ask for help.
Hmm.
It's so important because once you understand, there's just something you don't know. But other people may have that answer. And to keep looking for those answers, it makes a world of a difference. And it's something that I really hope people feel comfortable to reach out to us at any point or to reach out to professionals or people that they can truly trust and say, something just isn't quite right. How do you do it? What are you doing? And really start to do the inside work of saying, okay, it may be that I might have a chemical imbalance. It may be
Hmm.
something that I'm not getting enough sleep. It maybe I have too much stress in my life. And recognizing there's some things that are going on that aren't quite right. How can I improve them beyond just think positive thoughts? That was really, really frustrating when I kept hearing people say, "Well, just be positive." And you're like, "Just how?"
Yes, you are correct on that. And for me, I know when I'm not on my game. I
Oh,
know it right. Oh, right from the
yeah.
beginning. I know because waking up in the morning, our house is like, people moving 100 miles per hour, trying to get, getting people, getting kids fed, getting backpacks ready, getting out of house on time so no one is late. If I'm short with Katie or one of the boys, I know that's not a good day for me because usually I'm chipper, I'm usually high energy and everything. If I snap or very short with one of the kids or her, I know my game is off, and then I have to recalibrate and sit here and say and take a deep breath and be like, George, relax, take a deep breath, everything is going to be okay. Let's start this thing over so we don't mess up our entire day.
I love that. That is absolutely awesome. I completely agree when you're off your day, but I love that you have that self-awareness that says, "It's not them, it's not them, it's not them, it's da, 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 da." It's enough to come back and say, "Okay, something's going on. Let me recalibrate," whether it's to take a deep breath or to step away or to when you have the opportunity to step away. And it's truly so important to allow yourself that space to breathe and understand it's okay. It's okay if you're
Hmm.
not 100% all the time or
Hmm.
1,000% all the time. And giving yourself permission that says, you know what? Okay, maybe I didn't sleep all that well. I'm still going to do them as much as I can to be kind to myself and to
Hmm.
not set other people off and to do whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself into that space. And same thing happens to me. I actually messaged somebody this morning. So I wake up pretty early in the morning and there's times where I get to noon and I'm like, I
Hmm.
feel like I just ran a marathon because you're just going and going
Yeah.
and going. And when you're off and you're not feeling completely engaged in your day, it's okay.
Hmm.
It's so great to be aware of. What are some of your favorite things to do to try and get back in the zone or to at least care and carry yourself forward in the best way possible?
Oh, for me, the
Yeah.
most important thing is going to the gym. Going to the gym. If I could go to the gym for about an hour, hour and a half, my day would really turn around because once I go into the gym, I usually, when I get there, I'll sit in the car for about 5 minutes and I tell myself, okay, George, you have a purpose of why you're going in here, and that's to get your mind, body, and soul all in one line. So once I get in there, there is no playing around now. When I do get in there, a lot of people, come up to me, ask questions about what should I do for this. Now, in the past, I used to get upset about that. But now, as I've got more mature, and I can remember when I was a young person, I used to go up to adults and ask, how do you do certain exercises? And they would blow me off. And so now I make sure that if I'm in the middle of a workout and the person could be, a young person, middle age, or elderly, if they ask, I'll be more than happy to help them. And
Uh-huh.
so that help with helping others gives me a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, because the gym is like, besides being here with my family, being at the gym is probably the second place I enjoy being, because I don't look at it as hard. I look at it as relaxing. I like the smell of the gym, just the vibe, the people, walking around, because when I go in there, everything that's bothering me seems to go away. And then when I walk out of the gym, I'm a much, happier person.
I love that. Oh my gosh. There are times where I don't know if anybody follows or who follows. I know a ton of people follow you on social media. Your gym pictures are so good. And you can completely tell how connected you are to the people that are there, and that there's so much enjoyment, and you can see it on your face in the
Hmm.
pictures. But the people that you do get to be in the gym with
Hmm.
are truly, you can just tell that they brighten your day and that you also brighten theirs. I love the stories that you have, because I know people do really come up to you and ask you tips on exercise and a variety of questions.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Like, I know you've seen like the fanny pack crew.
I love the fanny pack crew.
Yeah, the fanny pack crew. So, once I started doing it, people was coming up, George, I want to take a picture. I want to get in the picture. So for me, Lenore, I can recall, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I used to be one of the guys that go into the gym, and I would sit here and just be like be an angry person. But as I've gotten older, I just think it's just so much easier to be a nice person than to be a jerk. You don't waste a lot of energy. Everything is pretty cool and calm when you see here, and you're nice to people, whether they want you to be nice to them or not. So I just feel, for me, that is the best way for me to live life now, is to be nice, be as kind as I possibly can to whoever it may be. They may not give me the same kindness back, but that's okay. I can look myself in the mirror and say, you know what, I did all the stuff I needed to do to be a great human being that day, so I don't worry too much about it.
I love that, especially because there are times where we can get so wrapped in our head. And I know, if I'm having what I call my critical voices, or I'm murky, like I'm too stuck in
Hmm.
my head. I love that's one of the tools that I actually use in my toolbox. I
Hmm.
will purposefully reach out to other people to come out of my own head, because I don't need to be wrapped up in there. It's probably just something that's not necessary to be focusing on. And when I come out to other people, and you go up to people at the gym and you have conversations,
Hmm.
it is so good for your mental mindset to focus on other people, especially when you're too wrapped up in here and a less than positive, to come out into the
Hmm.
world and to offer that kindness. And it is an instant boost of
Hmm.
feel goodness. And there are other people here too. And you know what? And especially if you see somebody else and you can recognize, they're having a tough day too, to just be that support to them and say, hey, I see you. You brighten the day. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for the smile. Thanks for the joke. I love
Hmm.
sharing dad jokes all the
Hmm.
time.
Yes.
And even bonding over the fanny pack. I actually showed George. I refer to it as a bedazzled fanny
Yes.
pack. It's got glitter all over it.
Hmm.
The fanny pack crew is so cute, fun, because then you get to socialize, and it really helps with kindness and feeling good inside, that you have other people that are in your tribe and that you're having
Hmm.
fun with. It's so, so good. Another one that I love to do is music. So if I'm not having a conversation, I'm huge into music, because it'll change your mood also, and it'll really help your mindset.
Well, with the music thing now, um, when people find out the music that I'm listening to, because people come up to me all the time in the gym, George, what music do you listening to? I say, well, today I'm listening to the soundtrack to Grease 2. Boom. They like, what? Are
So
you
good.
serious? And I let them say it on the phone, and it says Grease 2. And people give me a hard time about it, but that is what I enjoy about being in the gym and around people, because I go to my own beat. I don't let anybody dictate what type of music or how I'm going to act in the gym. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to be happy whether this person is not happy or not. And also, I get a lot of people who come up to me in the gym who's having a lot of adversity with, their kids or their spouse, or just health wise. And so I try to always tell them as best as I can, try to turn a negative into a positive. If you can find any way to try to see the good out of it, try to do it that way. And that's one of the things, like with my son Max, having Down syndrome. I try to always look at what Max can do, not what he can't do. Because at the end of the day, if I dwell on what he can't do, I'm not going to be happy, and he's going to sense that I'm not happy. So it doesn't do any one of us any good. So that's why I always say to GJ and Cooper as well, always try to turn a negative into a positive.
I love that. And I say the same thing. I reframe it in my own mind. And no matter how thin you slice something, there will always be two sides. It's no
Mhm.
matter as thin as it can get, there will still be two sides. And you can focus on the negative, or you can choose to focus on the positive. And I used to, yeah, a lot of people would tell me, "Oh, you have rose-colored glasses on. You have rose-colored glasses." And I would think, I don't particularly think I have rose-colored glasses. And then as my understanding of my own thoughts came to my awareness, and then as I understood the importance of focusing on the positive, I was noticing that you call them rose-colored glasses. I call them focusing on the positive. Focus on what you
Mhm.
can do. Focus on the things that are good, and it does contribute to your overall wellness because the pathways, your literal neural pathways that fire together, wire together. And it's just like a muscle, just like we're working out in the gym.
Mhm.
It becomes stronger the more that
Mhm.
you use it. And it's not something, I think I'll dabble in it today.
Mhm.
No, this is quite literally how I now think. I tend to focus much more on the positive, or to be success oriented or solution oriented versus all these things that can be wrong. I love that you pointed that out, and that you also not only especially because not only do you talk the talk, you walk the walk. You share this with your kids, and you also show them in the morning, it's going to be a great day. Let's get up, let's get chipper, let's
Mhm.
and then if you're not, you reset, you recalibrate. And it's so important to acknowledge it doesn't have to be 100% all the time.
Mhm.
You're going to go in, you're going to go out. How you get back in is what
Mhm.
matters. And the Grease 2 soundtrack is so good to get back in.
I know. And Lenore, I have people ask me all the time because, everybody is following me on social media and they know me, as being a great father. And I wasn't always a great father. People ask me all the time, what did you used to believe about yourself that you no longer believe? And for me, it's fatherhood. I thought being tough, being loud, being very disciplined was the way to be a great father. And I no longer believe that now because all the kids that a person has, they're all different. You have to look at them differently because a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I was trying to with the boys, I was trying to live my life as an adult through them. So I was telling myself I wanted to be pushed hard. I wanted discipline. I wanted somebody to do this when that's not what they asked for me to do to them. All they wanted me to do is love them, be their father, give them guidance and all that. And it took me a little while to learn that. So that is one of the things that that I believed in before that I no longer believe in. What about you?
That's so beautiful. I love that you said that, to realize what they wanted. Yes,
Hmm.
you wanted stuff, but what were they wanting? And I love that awareness of it, because it's truly something when we come to our own awarenesses, our own, oh, that's on me. Oh, that's on them.
Hmm.
It completely shifts your mindset. It shifts the way that you perceive things. And for me, I grew up with a diagnosis of being learning disabled.
Hmm.
And I had a lot of tutors. I spent a time with a lot of my teachers, and I grew up thinking I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
Hmm.
And that was something that I used to really believe about myself. And now had gone to the other extreme is, now I can't ask for help at all because I don't want people to think that I'm stupid, which then brought me so far to another direction that I had to come back and realize, no, I do need to ask for help because there's things that I don't know. So people had a different mindset, people had a different approach, and I had to start asking for help, which is goes back to the very beginning. ask for help. Completely
Hmm.
ask for help. It's so important because you don't have to think this way. I didn't have to think I was stupid. You
Hmm.
didn't have to think a certain way. You started to look at other perspectives. And
Hmm.
in that again shifted your mindset and created this incredible mental attitude of, let me approach it from what they're wanting from me so that I can love them
Hmm.
more and they can understand how much I love them and I can
Hmm.
connect with them differently. That's so, so wonderful. Truly. I love that you pointed that out.
And also, Lenore, I look at maintaining a winning mental attitude just like sports. Some people will look at it and be like, oh, I got it locked down. I got it. I know what I'm doing. So now I'm going to start taking shortcuts. I'm
Ooh.
not going to do everything like I did at the beginning. For example, so people, if they normally get up, they talk to themselves in the morning and say, I'm going to do this. Let's make sure I do this. They start skipping all those steps because they say, oh, I've already made it. I've
Mhm.
already made it. I've already got that winning mentality, which in essence, no, you have to practice it just like football. You have to go over the basics every single day with it because once you stop doing the basics, you will lose that winning mentality because you just started taking shortcuts and cheating yourself. So for me, I tried to make sure not to get complacent, not to be lazy, not to say I'm not going to do something because I'm tired or if I'm distracted. I'm going to make sure every day when I wake up, I'm going to make sure I tell myself, you got to have this winning mentality. You got to do these certain steps. You got to make sure when you wake up, GJ and Cooper and Max, you have to say this. You have to tell them this. I do the exact same routine every day.
I love that, especially because it's truly I completely agree to not take those little things and think that they're so little that you can start taking shortcuts. It is those daily practices, those daily habits that contribute to the overall well-being of having a strong mindset so that you can go out and do the things that you want. I love that you attribute it to and or approach it the same way that you do sports. It's not, "Okay, now I'm strong enough, now I don't need to pick those dumbbells up, and now I can focus on this." It's a
Hmm.
maintenance, and it's so important, and I love to think of it as an art. It's something that we continue to do, and these habits that I've created, at least for myself, they're easier than
Hmm.
when I started, which is great, and they're easier because I keep up with them, but
Hmm.
they're still things that I do. They're not things that I forget about now. If I don't use it, I lose it, and they're so important to me. The way that I wake up and the things that I do to keep a really strong mindset and the tools that I have in my toolbox, they're so important. It's like
Hmm.
if you don't touch the hammer in the garage for a month, you don't throw it
Hmm.
away the hammer. You're
Hmm.
it's still in the toolbox and you're still gonna want to make sure that you keep using these tools and taking care of them because they contribute to your success. And that is so important of living in the present moment and living every day to as much of an enjoyable mindset and a positive mindset as possible.
Yeah, and Lenore, I tried to do that, in the gym or wherever I'm at, because remember I told you I helped like a 13-year-old young man in the gym, and I also help a 19-year-old girl in the gym who asked me about weights and how to approach it and everything. So I feel as though I have an obligation to young people to help them to try to maintain and get to a winning mentality about how they approach their day, how they approach their relationships with people, and how they approach life. I just try to always give people insight of the things that I've done, the mistakes I've made, the things that I've changed in life to be a better, well, like I say, the best version of myself.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
most of the people that I come in contact to, they love that I sit here and give them that because they don't ask me. I just voluntarily tell people like this is what I do. And just the other day, a buddy of mine was like, George, man, I'm just feeling so I don't feel as my energy feels down and everything. How do you feel when you come in here? I said, let's just say his name is Mike. I said, Mike, man, every day I come in here, I feel good. I'm very energetic. I'm just happy I'm able to, be blessed enough that I could come in here and lift weights every day and exercise and be around, cool people and cool friends. So for me, is I never have that day where I come in here and I'm feeling down and everything. And I told him, I said, why don't you try before you come in here to, when you park your car, wait for like, 2, 3, 4 minutes, talk to yourself, tell yourself you need to go in here and do as best as you can to set your day off and see how that works. And he said he was going to try it. So I,
I hope best wishes, Mike. I love that. It's about setting the intention, especially when you sit in the car and I'm going to go in and do this for my mind and my body and my spirit because this will contribute to my wellness. Especially when we add the word because. So it's almost like you're punching in the destination. I'm
mhm,
going to do this because you reinforce to yourself the intention and why you're doing it. And it's so important to help raise your awareness. And even better, it brings you right into that present moment. And love that, the present dad.
yes.
Um, what I was also going to say was, I love that you share your stories with people because I think, especially hearing your name and
Mhm,
knowing your background, people could go, wow, it was so easy. He just was, it was a gift that he had, and there you go, he took off. And
mhm,
I love that you share your stories because it's so important for people to say, thank goodness. I'm human too. He's human too. And he can openly talk about it and be okay. And
mhm.
look how phenomenal he's doing and how humble he is. I love that you share those stories because people will often say, oh, you're just always so happy. And it's like, but I work at it, and there were times where I really wasn't happy, and I know what that's like, and that's why I work with clients one-on-one, and that's why I do what I do.
Mhm.
'Cause it's
Mhm.
so important to me because I know how bad it.
And you are correct in that, Lenore. People say, George, why are you so energetic? Man, you're so hyped up in here. And I sit here and say, I wasn't like this a year ago because I had a bunch of mental health struggles that none of you guys knew about because I hid it. I was having a lot of internal pain that none of you guys knew about. And I finally had the courage to go and get help. And now, being on the proper medication, it has done a world of difference for me. So now it's not hard for me to be happy and energetic and everything. And so, anybody I come across, Lenore, it doesn't matter who they are. I always tell them about my mental health struggles, whether they ask me or not, because that's a subject a lot of people don't want to bring up or broach
Yeah.
because a lot of people are embarrassed by it. And I
Yeah.
was one of those people who were embarrassed by that stigma of mental health because people start labeling you a certain way, and some people can't take that. But
Mhm.
where I'm at in life now, if people said anything negative to me about it, it
Mhm.
wouldn't bother me because I don't want to stop feeling the way I feel now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to tell as many people as I humanly possibly can, whether they want to hear it or not, because I know there's probably someone listening that probably need to hear what I'm saying, and hopefully they go get the help they need and make their life more enjoyable.
I love that, especially because it's so important to share our experiences, and there's a difference between sharing and saying I want help and not actually taking the steps to go get help. And if somebody did say something to you, also recognize that that's on them. That's not on you. You're showing up and you're doing your absolute best to take care of you. And
Hmm.
that is so important because when you can take care of you, you can take care of others and you can share with others and be able to share your story and share your wisdom and share your
Hmm.
insights. And that's what this is all about because we were both there.
Did you
And
see? I didn't mean to cut you off, Lenore. Did you see somebody, a LinkedIn user? Did you see?
I just
Did
thought,
you see that? It's
um,
it says we connect with people at our lowest points.
yeah,
I wish that who is the
it just said
user?
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, who are you? We would love to
We
know what.
appreciate your comment.
Yeah, we appreciated what you mean by that. But that's good. We appreciate you chiming in.
Yeah.
We would like more. more of the people who are listening to chime in with questions
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
things of that nature, because we want to make the show as best as we can for everybody that's out there listening.
absolutely. And I completely agree. We do connect with people at our lowest points. And I think it's important to remember, hey, Dominic,
Hey, Dominic, how you doing, buddy?
I think it's important to share with people those low points because it helps them understand they're not alone. And often at times when things are coming up, we are doing our absolute best to put on a smiley face and
Hmm.
to not share it with anybody. And
Hmm.
it's so important that we do find those spaces of where we can trust other people and share our experiences. At one point, it didn't feel safe to share with, for me, it didn't feel safe to share with other people. But because of the way that I approached things, because of the help that I did seek, I
Hmm.
now can share openly and I feel much better about it. And I'm not teary eyed over it. There were things that I struggled with. I struggled greatly with food. I struggled greatly with my body. And
Hmm.
because I was able to resolve that pain, that's what I do now. And that's why we come forward and we help other people because we know what that was like. And we don't want anybody else to feel like that. And if we can minimize it as much as possible, that is a successful day.
And Lenora, I tell people that all the time. They, look at me and see, how I'm, my physique and being happy and this and that. And I tell them, we all have something going on in life that we're struggling with. Me and you may not be struggling with the same things, but we're struggling with something. So we have a commonality that everybody in the world is dealing with. Some people choose to let others know what they're dealing with, and some choose to keep it to themselves. And I was one of those individuals who kept it to himself. But now, like we just said earlier, we're going to let everybody know. And however people take, what we say, it's their choice. But we're
Uh-huh.
going to let people know um, how we experience life, how we go through ups and downs, how we deal with mental health issues. So, and Dominic, I hope you are still working out like you told us you was, and lifting those weights.
You're awesome, Dominic. Thanks for
Appreciate
chiming
it,
in.
Dominic.
All right, guys, we are going to share our ending quote just as we do at the end of every episode. This one today is by Vince Lombardi. Mental toughness is essential to success. And our weekly challenge for you is to tell us what are three things that you do that supports your winning mindset and what's important about that. So leave it in the comments below. Reach out to George and I, and we are so happy that you spent time with us. And by all means, reach out to us with topics that you'd like us to talk about or questions that you'd like us to answer, and we will go from there. All
Lenore, it's
right.
been a pleasure.
As
Another
always,
one in
George,
the books.
another one in the book. Same to you. Stay well.
You too, my friend.
Bye.